welcome to Sarah Says, and this week's question comes from Sarah from the Ohana Mama, and it goes a little something like this. I want to know how you went from starting your site to gaining national campaigns and writing gigs. What's the secret? I love the balance that you have with promoting products and still being true to you. It's not one gross commercial or review site. I'm a huge fan of yours and other mama bloggers in your circle that make a living at writing and working with companies. Any tips or resources would be greatly appreciated. So first off, thank you, Sarah. That was very nice of you to say. And I wasn't gonna choose this subject matter because it's complicated and it takes a long time to talk about, and I'm afraid half of you would be like snoozing after the first couple of minutes, but then I thought, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna try to put together some concise tips, which I'm really gonna try my hardest, about this whole phenomenon of, blogging as a career. So I came up with 8. Is that too much? I don't know. We'll see. Here we go though. Okay, so number 1, kind of obvious, but amazing that some people aren't really thinking this way. Figure out what you wanna do. And what I mean by that is figure out what you want to do down the road and always be thinking of that point down the road. What do you want to do? Do you want to do video? Do you want to have a book? Do you want to have a famous Instagram account? Do you want to be a photographer? What do you want to do? At the end, what's your end goal? And always think that way when you're working day to day. For me, I knew early on that I really wanted to be able to, first of all, do videos, whether I was doing videos online or doing little TV spots or things like that. So very early on, I started doing all of those old Hair Thursday videos that are still on my YouTube account that have been there for years and years. But I knew, especially back then where there weren't a lot of video bloggers, I knew that in order for people to see me, I needed to have some videos out there, and some of them are horrible and most of them were in my bedroom, and I knew that had to happen though. That was something that had to happen for me to get where I am, and over time people saw those videos and I got great things. I mean, the Pantene commercial was from those videos, and I started working with them on little giveaways here and there, and they basically came to me a couple years ago and were like, you want to do this? Let's do this. I'm like, okay. So, figure out what you want to do. Having a niche is good. I know a lot of people are saying, no, you don't need to have a niche, but really, you don't need to have a niche for you. But for corporations and larger companies to know what you're all about, you need to have a niche. You do. And it doesn't have to be totally specific, like poodles that you dye pink on Saturdays. I mean, it's just kind of a basic niche though, so people know what you're all about. Okay, so think about that. Always be thinking of your end goal. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Also, one more thing about that. If you want to write for other companies, if you want to write for other websites that are owned by corporations, you're going to have to show some professionalism in your writing on your own website. Very early on, before I had children, and when I was drinking a lot of wine and watching Rockstar NXS, do you remember that show? I was just like, fucking drinking some wine and a lot. And it didn't take me long to realize that if I wanted to make a career out of this and I wanted to write for other companies, that kind of language wasn't really gonna fly. And I love that language, don't get me wrong, and I love reading that language, and when it's appropriate, it's great and all that. But for me personally, there's no way that if I was writing like that on a regular basis that I'm gonna get a job writing for a huge corporation somewhere else like Procter & Gamble. So you just need to think about that. You need to keep it professional, and sometimes that can be a little bit boring, but you can actually find a way to make it all work. And that's only if you want to go in that direction where you're writing more editorial pieces for larger online websites. Okay, networking, online and offline. Online used to be commenting. Remember those days? You used to comment on blogs and that was it. You made friends. It was so great. Now it's a little bit, there's a lot more going on. For online, I think I've got a couple of private Facebook groups that I'm part of. It's a lot of like-minded individuals that are, blogging as a career for them. We bounce ideas off each other. We kind of let each other know what's going on in the marketplace, and it's been very, very helpful. So finding some people that are kind of in the same spot that you're in or wanting to move in the same direction you're moving in and kind of like work with them on networking is great. Now, networking offline. I am not a huge blogging conference attendee. I go to maybe one a year, and because I need to have some return on investment. When I go to a blogging conference, I want to come back home with a new piece of business. That's the way I look at it. If I'm going to pay the money to fly out there, get childcare for my kids, yada yada, I need to come back with a new partnership. And I found that worked for me every time I've gone to Mom 2.0 Summit. I strongly believe that Mom 2.0 is by far the best conference out there for networking with quality companies and brands. And every time I've left, I've had a new partnership that usually is a yearly partnership and lasts for a while, and it's just amazing. And it might not be that you find that you talk to the actual point person from that company. You might meet a new blogger that could give you some information. This happened last year. I met a blogger who I'd never met before, who I loved, who was ending an ambassadorship with a brand. And I said to her, oh, it'd be amazing. I'd love to work with that brand. And she said, well, let me just hook you up with my point person. That happened. I talked with the company, and now I'm going to be the ambassador for next year. And it's really exciting. And that wasn't even meeting with the company. I just met with another blogger who helped me out. So networking is important, but you need to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. You don't want to be going to everything, or, just kind of like commenting everywhere. Just, focus on those people that online that you really respect and that you want to emulate, and see if maybe you can, learn a lot from them. And then just pick and choose your blogging conferences wisely. Number 3, get an agent, which I got through networking. Imagine that. The agent that I have, we worked together when she had a previous job, and when she left and started her own company, I went with her company, and it's great. It's not all of my business, but it's a lot of business, and it gets my name out there. And you always have someone that is out there trying to move business for you. And if you don't want to find an agent per se, there are blogging media agencies that are fantastic. We have one here called Pollinate, that's in Orange County, that they do an amazing job. They've got great clients, and they treat their bloggers well, and it's a bigger group of bloggers. There's Clever Girls Collective, Sits Girls, things like that, where you can be part of a network. And so maybe if you don't have huge numbers, you're kind of a part of that collective group that these bigger companies are seeing. And then once you land a sponsored post or two, you can really show them how you shine with your awesome posts, with your amazing quality work. So get an agent. 4, learn to say no. Huge. Learn to say no. Don't take everything that comes your way. And I know it's hard sometimes. We just bought a house. We're trying to redo our house. Our front yard right now, there's like a 17-ton pile of gravel in my front yard. Like, you can't even walk. It's ridiculous. Money's tight. I get it. But, if you are going to consistently take everything that comes your way, or things that really don't mesh with your aesthetic, it's just so transparent. It's just so obvious. And corporations know that too. They might not at first. You might be taking everything, you're thinking, wow, look at this, I'm doing all this stuff. But the real quality partnerships, that kind of thing is really important. These companies don't want to utilize a blogger who is writing about every company under the sun. So you need to really pick wisely when it comes to opportunities. Pick things that you yourself would have written about before the company even came to you. I say no to 85 to 90% of the pitches I get. No, because and some of it has been good money that we could utilize, but I know in the long run, it's not going to be good for me if I take those projects. So just be picky, go for things that fit with your aesthetic. Number 5, ask for what you want. This took me forever. I'm a people pleaser. I don't like rejection. I just don't want to hear no. Nobody wants to hear no. But I thought of some companies I wanted to work with, and I said, what the heck? I'm going to network. I'm going to find out who the point person is, and I'm just going to send an email asking for this, this, and this. It's amazing how many yeses you get when you just take that extra step and go directly to them. Sure, sometimes they're not going to write you back. Sometimes you're going to get a no, but it's okay. The sting of no isn't so bad when it's online, when it's an email. But most of the times they say yes. And you're like, oh, okay then. So ask for what you want. Go to companies that you want to work with. Send them a nicely composed email. With that in mind, have a media kit. It doesn't have to be over the top. My media kit isn't even printed out. It's online. It's a private link on my blog that when a company I'm going to a company, or if they're coming to me about an opportunity, I can show them my numbers, how much I charge, some boasting about press that you've gotten, things like that. A lot of people have them actually printed out. I don't think it's necessary because most of the things I'm doing online are online. So why not have my media kit online? So ask for what you want. 6, stay relevant. This is hard. And I've been blogging for 8 years. I have a lot of friends that have been blogging that long. And it's really easy to be like, oh, what's this new stuff? Like, what's all this Tumblr and Instagram? And like, no one's posting engaging content anymore and blah. Well, you know what? Too bad. That's just the way things are moving. And if you don't go with the flow, you're done. You've got to go with the flow. You've just got to keep moving, keep evolving, change with the times. Don't get stuck. Yes, you might have found your wheelhouse and you know what you're great at, but it can't be stuck in that box forever. You've got to keep moving. Are you asleep? Wake up, wake up. Okay, 7, quality over quantity. You got to make great content, whether it be a photo or a post or what have you. It's got to be good. You got to take your time. Don't feel the need to bust out posts every day, to just clog up an Instagram feed with everything just so you're out there, because the really great companies, the quality companies that are going to create partnerships that last, they don't want to see that. They just want good posts. And so you know what? If you only have 1 or 2 posts a week, that's fine, as long as they're good posts. Make them good. Spend time on them. My last one, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox too much, but it's most important, is work hard and be nice to people. If you're working with a company and they come back and they have lots of edits or they want you to tweak things, then you do it. You put your head down, you do the work. Now, if it compromises your personal aesthetic or your beliefs, then of course we're going to have a conversation. But in general, I know a lot of people think the squeaky wheel gets the oil, but I don't. I don't. I know controversy works for some people because you get a lot of eyes on you right then. But you know what? That's not going to work for you in the long run. Put your head down, work hard, be nice, forge good relationships. Don't get all in your head and I'm so great. No. Be a good person. Don't be entitled. It's gross. Work really hard. Be nice. Be courteous, be respectful. Okay, I'm done. Soapbox, stepping down. So hopefully you're awake. I don't know. Possibly not awake, possibly sleeping. Maybe I didn't touch on something. Please leave me a comment. I would love to answer it for you. Or if you have any other questions you'd like me to cover in the future, do that as well. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys later.